Gabe was doing a max effort deadlift and I saw it afterwards. He hit the weight, right? Maybe something in the upper fives, but 600, all right, fair enough, Gabe, fair enough. What's up, guys? Tyrel Detweiler here, coach with elitefts and coach at the O-Line Academy. Today we're going to be working through on two of my athletes right now. One is a lineman that works with me currently. Another one is a client of mine. I'm a chiropractor as well, so he's a client of mine. We're going to be working through some lower back stuff with him, fixing a little technique on his deadlift. So for today, the big concept here is I want to walk you guys through the article I wrote on Conjugate U and how I'm applying that to offensive linemen. So we're going to run through a typical lower body day that we'd see here. We're going to start with some dynamic effort work that's going to work in a squat and a deadlift, and then we're going to actually transition into just showing you guys max effort work. Both of these guys have camps coming up. They've been a little bit heavier in their training lately, and they're a little beat up. So if they feel good, I might throw some more weight on them, but I at least want you guys to see how that max effort day might look and how we incorporate that with the dynamic effort as well. Again, these athletes are only spending 2 days a week with me, so we have enough time for a lower body and an upper body day, with the emphasis here that I know that they're going to be training at their high school on top of this. So again, I'm trying to fill gaps. I'm trying to find those areas they're deficient in. We're trying to build those up concurrently with them training in their high school.
Is this, you do 3-week waves, 4-week waves? What do you usually do?
Yeah, so we'll go 3-week waves on this, and then continue into the next wave. I'll either increase the percentages, I'll change the bar, we'll put some chains on, or we'll put some bands on, just again depending on what that what time of the year it is too with that athlete. I usually wait to put any kind of bands on them when it's like right when they're about ready to perform. When we need the most out of them, then we'll throw the bands on. That's going to increase their explosiveness a little more and demand that they kind of utilize that stretch reflex more. Good, much better. Push the knees out, pause in the box. Good, walk it in. So again, you can kind of see a little bit difference in technique just based on someone who's been spending about 5-6 months with me and someone we're kind of starting to work into the squat for the first time. So we're going to keep trying to cue Gabe on some of these things, which again, just economics, right? If you're in a high school strength program, you're probably have maybe 1 or 2 coaches for about 30. So really being able to sit there and take some time with your stronger, more elite athletes in the group is going to be hard to do. So this is another good reason why we want to come in here and do speed work, because the weights aren't extremely hard or heavy for them, but we can really start working on technique. So Gabe, you're going to push your feet out, rotate the hips, press the knees out, press the knees out.
Now, another thing that coaches that don't utilize any sort of a conjugate program will be able to see with this is how much work you're getting in such a short amount of time.
Yes.
Right? Like just being able to hit so many sets of quality work in a short amount of time, especially being in a high school, college weight room, is super important. You have such limited time, you have to make it work.
Yep. And in the first month or so when we're working with these guys, we're only doing speed work. I will not do any max effort work. Push out. Good. Good. Walk it in.
And I'm sure you've seen, even in that first month, they're getting stronger.
Absolutely. Yep. So we're putting them through more of a volume type wave. So I'm keeping the weight the same when we go through those first couple weeks. Step out, step out. Push the knees out, push the knees out. Push them over your toes. Okay, walk it in. Keep working on the pause of the bottom.
Now, it's one of the biggest things that you see with somebody that's newer with a box squat versus, somebody who may have done these before. But
the biggest thing we're going to see with someone doing a box squat for the first time is what you're seeing with Gabe, where he's kind of getting down to the box and he's kind of bouncing off it or losing tension or not spending a whole lot of time on the box in general. And that just takes time. It's not something he's trying to do. It's just trying to get used to the movement. We're trying to get those motor patterns in. Again, we really like this. I like a wide-based squat and a box squat particularly because now I'm opening up the hips more. That's going to be a little more sport specific because an athlete's going to spend more time in a wider stance than in a narrower stance. So we'll see that for sure. And we'll see that they're going to maybe bounce in the box a little more. But as we keep programming that in, we keep reinforcing that, we're gonna get something that looks a little better where they're gonna sit back, pause, and explode up. And we're trying to build that tension in the body while they're in that bottom position. There you go. But we really want to make sure that when we're deadlifting, I'm thinking explosion. Again, that's what that athlete's going to be doing the most of the time anyways. Deadlift's a great movement for exploding with and teaching that explosive position. So that's what we use it for. So Gabe, so with Gabe, we had an injury that happened earlier this year. An injury that occurred because of, I think because of a deadlift. So Gabe was doing a max effort deadlift and I saw it afterwards. He hit the weight, right? Maybe something in the upper fives, but 600, all right, fair enough, Gabe, fair enough. But we definitely saw some areas where we could get better. And again, make sure that athlete's staying healthy and not putting himself in a vulnerable position. So Gabe, what we want to do here, Gabe actually squats a sumo. Both of these athletes squat sumo. That's just been something actually their school's done, which I love. The sumo squat or the sumo deadlift, I think is a really good movement to put in for these athletes because again, we're opening up the hips. We're teaching them to open the hips and have mobility, which is very important for someone like him. So Gabe, just go ahead and I want you to start deadlifting just how you would normally do it, and then we're going to step in and try to make some corrections. So just go through your routine. Go through whatever you want to do right now. You just deadlift. Okay, let's do a couple of them. Okay, good. So what I want to start out with is I just want to start with your eyes, where your eyes are at, and then we're going to work in from there. Actually, we're going to do two things. I want you to step up to the bar more, okay? So get your shins right to the bar, yep. And then you're going to turn your toes out a little more, okay, good. Now right against that bar, shins right up to it. So walk your feet right up to it, there you go. So now when you go down to grab this bar, I want you to look out at that Elite FTS logo there on that bar hanging from the bench, okay? So I want you to be aware of where the bar is, but I want you to keep your head position to look at that bar, okay? Go ahead and go down. Good. So for the sumo deadlift, a big thing that we wanted to fix right off the bat, he's got the bar way too far away from him. So the sumo deadlift, we want to get the hips as close to that bar as possible on the starting gate. So if that bar is rolled away from his shins, we definitely want to fix that. Turn the feet out a little bit, allow him to get more glute activation, kind of extra rotation on that. And then if you notice his head was a little bit looking straight down, I want a neutral head position because where the head goes, the body goes. I want you to think about pushing through the ground, okay? But pushing through the ground through your feet, and then think about your glutes starting this movement, okay? Really feel your glutes and hamstrings on this one, okay? Slack out of the bar, roll back. Good, yes, much better, much better. Good, awesome. How'd
Way
that
more
feel?
snap. Way more snap on that for sure.
Yes. You're gonna be like a spring, right? Once you release that spring and fire, it's gonna go straight up versus it's almost like pulling you forward like a teeter-totter first, and then you're engaging and pulling it up. Good, 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 yep. So let's roll back into it here. So again, we wanna set the feet, get close to the bar, sink back, load your hips, load your hamstrings, chest up. Bring your chest back, back more, back more, back more, back more. Yep, keep going, back more, pull, right there. He's tired. Okay, we're gonna cut it today. Like I said, that's now showing me he's starting to get to a point where his technique's gonna break down. So we had a couple good cues that we wanted to hone in on, but that's going back a little bit more towards his old technique that we don't want to start now reinforcing that technique by doing more reps.